In this video, we will go through a bunch of examples that will help us understand what it sounds like when native speakers go down and when native speakers go up in their sentences. We will listen to each example multiple times so that you guys can clearly hear that this is falling intonation or that this is rising intonation. We will also look at examples where words are simply stressed because they have to be stressed, and because in English, compared to other languages, stressed words are heard clearly better than all the other words in the sentence that should be reduced for the sake of the rhythm. So it's very simple. We will listen to examples with the falling intonation, and then we will listen to examples with the rising intonation. We will look at falling intonation and rising intonation in questions and in statements. And then we will look at examples where words are stressed and they do not necessarily go up or down. The words are simply stressed because for a lot of non-native speakers, it's really hard to understand. Is it up? Is it down? What's going on? Especially if the concept of rhythm is not that important in your first language. That's totally okay. That some people struggle hearing the differences. And this video is not to teach you about intonation. This video is not to teach you about the English rhythm. This video is here to demonstrate what it sounds like when native speakers go up and when they go down, and what it sounds like when certain words in a sentence are stressed. People are not taking their words up or down, they simply stress them. So the purpose of this video is to help you recognize these different intonation patterns. First of all, we will look at questions. Every time we ask a question that starts with a WH word, such as why, who, what, where, how, the intonation will go down. Native speakers usually go down at the end of such questions. Listen to a few examples. You will hear every sentence a few times. And as you listen, give yourself a job to focus on the intonation pattern. Try to hear the falling tone. Try to hear how they go down at the end of every question. How would you read this question? Listen to how native speakers do it.
How did you know? How did you know?
How did you know? How did you know?
Now try to ask this question yourself. How did you know? How did you know? Notice that the intonation goes down towards the end of the question and we're sort of gliding down. Listen to this example. How is that important? Even though the word that is stressed, we still go down towards the end of the question and we're gliding down on the word important. How is that important? We don't say, how is that important? No, we say, how is that important? We go down.
How is that important? How is that important?
How is that important? How is that important?
Try this one. What's the question? What's the question? Again, notice that we hear the word what, people stress it, but then we glide down towards the word question.
What's a question? What's a question?
What's the question? What's the question?
Listen to a few more examples.
How much is it? How much is it?
How much is it? How much is it?
What is your problem? What is your problem?
What is your problem? What is your problem?
Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
Now, let's hear how native speakers ask yes or no questions. If the answer to the question is supposed to be yes or no, the intonation will go up. And you will hear something like, is she all right? Do you like cats? Can you help me? Are you tired? Are you hungry? You hear that I'm going up at the end of every sentence. But again, I'm not a native speaker. I'm not the authority here. Let's listen to a bunch of examples by native speakers, and each example is going to play a few times for you. So focus on the end of the question and see if you can clearly hear how people go up, and try to repeat every question out loud.
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you happy? Are you happy?
Are you happy? Are you happy?
Are you tired? Are you tired?
Are you tired? Are you tired?
Can you help me? Can you help me?
Can you help me? Can you help me?
Is she all right? Is she all right?
She all right? She all right?
Is that important? Is that important?
Is that important? Is that important?
Now let's focus on statements, not questions anymore. We will listen to examples where the same word combinations sound very different. Sometimes you will hear how people take them up, and sometimes you will hear how people take them clearly down. The difference is very simple. If native speakers finish a sentence, then they go down. So if you write down the sentence and you can see the transcript, so it's easier to imagine. It's actually, you don't need to imagine, you see it. If you see that that's the end of the sentence, you will also hear how people go down with their voice and with their intonation. If people want to send a signal that they're not done talking yet, just like I'm doing right now, you will hear that people go up. For example, if you say something like, I'm not sure, you're going down because that's all your sentence. But if you're saying something like, I'm not sure she understands, then you go up just to show that that's not the end of the sentence yet and you're about to say something else. Let's listen to a few examples and try to hear how people go down, how people go up. Ask yourself if it's clear to you, if you can clearly hear the difference between up and down, and try to repeat each sentence or each phrase that you're going to see on the screen now.
I believe.
And it was, I believe, the 48th audition. And it was, I believe, the 48th audition.
And we really appreciate your feedback.
I might look around for some feedback and see what I could maybe do differently. I'm
not sure. I'm not sure, but it seems that we may be in a little bit of a pickle, Dick. I'm not sure, but it seems that we may be in a little bit of a pickle, Dick.
That works.
And if that works, if mom comes over and
Think about it.
But, when you think about it, it costs a pharmaceutical company. But, when you think about it, it costs a pharmaceutical company.
But substantially the same wherever you go.
but substantially the same wherever you go.
You could paint the world wherever you go if you need to. You could paint the world wherever you go if you need to.
Now let's look at how native speakers stress important words inside a sentence. You will listen to examples of sentences where stressed words are not necessarily at the end of the sentence or at the end of a question. They might be anywhere in the sentence, but if they're important content words, and usually all nouns, all verbs, most adjectives, all negatives are important words in every sentence, they will be stressed. That means they will be pronounced a bit louder than all the other words, and probably a bit longer, so native speakers stretch them just a bit more than all the other words. And all the other words will be reduced. So let's listen to examples where stressed words are somewhere in the middle of a sentence, such as, are you saying that's the new normal now? I'm going up at the end of this question because it's a yes or no question. Are you saying that's the new normal now? I'm going up on the word now, but listen to how I say normal, normal. I pronounce it very clearly because it's the most important word in the sentence. Are you saying that's the new normal now? Listen to how native speakers do it and try to repeat every sentence yourself, and of course, do it out loud.
It was a tremendous thunderstorm. It was a tremendous thunderstorm.
Are you saying that is normal kingdom business? Are you saying that is normal kingdom business?
When one bears witness to the power of a jet engine. When one bears witness to the power of a jet engine.
While sparing and being more gentle on the normal cells. While sparing and being more gentle on the normal cells.